Okay, today, Wall Street Journal openly said, this qualifies as a bombshell article, but to most people, this is not news, I guess. But they said it. A major press outlet said, listen, exclusive news. They're saying on the record, the Justice Department has told Trump back in May that he is on the Epstein files, that his name is in there. They're claiming that Trump has known since May that he is on the files, and that is why he is not wanting them released and wants to bury them. And not only did they say that, but this article confirms that Pam Bondi and Kash Patel also know this, and that Kash Patel has actually told people around him that Trump is on the files, and that is one of the reasons they are not being released. Not only that, I mean, this alleges that the files do exist, and there are a lot of people on them. When Justice Department officials reviewed what Attorney General Pam Bondi called a truckload of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein earlier this year, they discovered Donald Trump's name appeared multiple times. They briefed him in May, and then they said they're not going to release any of the documents to protect the victim's personal information. Now, again, Wall Street Journal, owned by Rupert Murdoch, is in a lawsuit with Trump right now. Trump is suing them over them saying that he gave Jeffrey Epstein this weird letter on his birthday. But this is a clear statement from a major press outlet. They're saying it openly, and in fact, even address the fact that they are being sued by him. They are confident that there's in their sources and what they're saying enough to post this. And again, this is a right-leaning institution. That's correct. This is a right-leaning magazine. There's a lot to look at here. FBI Director Kash Patel has privately told other government officials that Trump's name appeared in the files. Trump obviously claims that they were friends, but it ended before any of the bad stuff happened, and Trump hasn't talked to him for years, and they're not as close as implied. Trump supporters claim the documents would expose global elites and powerful Democrats who spent time with the disgraced financier. The decision to not release the files has triggered the most serious backlash from Trump's political base. We talk about it. I mean, this is clearly the issue that has been most damaging to him of any issue thus far. People are very mad about it, and it does seem almost confirmed at this point that in some way he is mentioned in these files that are now being refused to be released. Now, there was a vote in the House to release more of the files, and then Speaker of the House Mike Johnson sent everybody home. He cut the legislative session short so they couldn't vote on it. So the vote didn't happen. We're still on a TBD. A spokesman for Dow Jones said, "We have full confidence in the rigor and accuracy of our reporting and will vigorously defend any lawsuit." They're saying it and saying they believe in their sources and they're standing up for it. 300 gigabytes of Epstein-related material, none of it's been released. And when asked about it in July, if Pam Bondi told him that your name appeared in the files, and he said no. So what this article is alleging is that was a lie. He was very aware in May that his name were in the files, and then July, when asked about it, he lied. So we don't know, but this is a bigger step. The story continues to evolve. And by the way, not to Occam's razor again here, but it just seems like this is the likely reason for everything. This explains his actions and his behavior. He's on the list and is aware of that. He knows it's happened. He's been told. And that is why he wants the story to go away. He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want it to be released. Now we have, again, Rupert Murdoch, who also owns Fox News. Fox News versus Trump. There's a legal battle, a major legal battle. This is like the media empire that helped bring him to power. That fracturing is so crazy. Was he naive to think he wasn't on the list or that he could hide it? After being briefed, I assumed he thought he could hide it. I thought he could just bury the story. But the story's not going away, and the new details continue to come out about his relationship with Epstein. And now he has people just talking about it openly. Like, people that work for him are talking about it openly. Nearly all the podcast bros who endorse him are walking it back to their entire audience. Yeah, I mean, Lemonade Stand, we had to do a special apology episode for helping get Trump elected because we had our Vote Trump 24 early episodes, and like those, they look bad now. We had the campaign slogan, "He's not on the list." And we were running on that, and now it's like, damn it seems like he may actually be on that list, bro. He may actually be on that list. You live and learn. What are you gonna do? So anyway, I think the two key takeaways from this are, number one, the Wall Street Journal is saying they have the sources and can back up this statement that Donald Trump is on the list and people know about it. And that is one of the main reasons that it is being buried. Same thing that what Elon Musk said, but now it's not just a jilted ex-billionaire Elon Musk or ex-billionaire friend Elon Musk. It's now a news outlet. But then also the second thing is that Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch are now in open war with Donald Trump. Now there's a actual battle between major right-leaning news outlets and Donald Trump over the Epstein list, which is also interesting. There's like two major updates. If it became 100% clear he was on the list and is a pedo, what do you think would happen? It's a great question. I don't think anyone knows the answer to that. If the list was released and he's in it, I guess it depends on what and how he's mentioned in it. I think if it depends on how damning the evidence is, right? You know, if it's Trump on tape or something, then I think he actually would get impeached. I think that would be such a damning thing. Again, this article already talks about people like Dan Bongino, deputy FBI director, who is like part-time podcaster. He's a part-time podcaster and media personality and our deputy FBI director. And Bongino here built his career and his media profile and has these fans because of him constantly saying, we're going to release the list. We're gonna drain the swamp. We're gonna get these elites. And now that they're not doing it, he's having a big fallout because he's telling Pam Bondi, hey, I'm getting roasted here. It's eroding my credibility among my base of support. So there are people that if the list came out and was damning for Trump, truly damning, I think would turn on him because it keeps their support. It's cynically, but they want to just keep their base. Will that happen? I think unlikely that the list comes out and it's purely damning for the president. I think it's going to be heavily redacted and maybe there's a mention of him, maybe, but it seems like they're just not going to release it. Do you think Ghislaine's getting a pardon? Ghislaine is getting a pardon? No, I don't think Ghislaine's getting a pardon. I don't think that's politically tenable, no matter how much pull you have. But she is talking about wanting to be interviewed. Ghislaine Maxwell continues to talk about wanting to be interviewed. She had a trial where she didn't testify. She's just been in custody since 2020, was found guilty since 20 years, and hasn't been spoken to at all. She didn't get to testify or speak at her trial. And so they're talking about the Justice Department having a meeting with her to get additional information. You assume she has all of this details in her head, given how close she was to the operation. And people are saying she's gonna die, but boy, if it wasn't a conspiracy theory before, if Ghislaine Maxwell dies before testifying, you understand, people would actually riot. People would actually lose their shit. There's no way you could bury that story and be like, nah, it's not a big deal. So I really don't think that's how they'll do it. I think some other method than her just dying. Even Eamon Gaiman would have to admit that would be a weird coincidence. Presidential pardon, she keeps her mouth shut? I mean, pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell would also be a bad look, right? Tough to explain that too, given this increasing scrutiny. This poor guy, what is this? He's a children's hospital pediatric psychologist. He helps children with ADHD. And his name is Jeffrey Epstein. That's so unlucky. That's so unlucky, bro. You gotta change your name? Do you feel bad for him? That's his name for his whole life. The Epstein thing's relatively recent. He looks like he's in his 40s or 50s. To work specifically with kids and be named Jeffrey Epstein is just a fucking nightmare. He's been working at Cincinnati Children for 2005. You got to feel bad for that other guy in Austria named Adolf Hitler in the 40s. He's just a nice guy. Just a local baker named Adolf Hitler. What did you say your kid's doctor's name is? Oh, Jeffrey Epstein. Do you think this is a move people to try and bait and switch Trump to Vance with his Epstein stuff? That's a great follow-up question. So here's the thing. The rumor mill is swarming, but Vance just met with Rupert Murdoch, whoever's running News Corp now, at their ranch. Like, Vance is still keeping ties with the Fox News. Dude, there's nobody more Littlefinger than JD Vance. I gotta be honest with you. Nobody is more chaos as a ladder than JD Vance. He is constantly shifting opinions and whatever to just rise the ladder, dude. He'll do whatever it takes. He already is the odds-on frontrunner just ahead of Trump third term, I think, for Republicans 28. Yeah, he's dominating. So this is just him saying they're friends. We talk about this.
Personal relationship with Donald Trump. Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Is this fake or real? People are saying real, but finish the clip. I'm not going to finish the clip until I know it's real.
With Donald Trump.
Otherwise, I'm just spreading misinformation.
Females under the age of 18.
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
Seems like a simple no, but hit him with three different amendments. Anyway, so we'll see how this plays out, but this is the first I've seen, you know, from going to conspiracy theory, fake news or whatever, to having one of the most right-leaning journalism outlets say, confirmed, you were on the list and have known about it since May. It's like the story's accelerating fast. So we'll have to keep following up, but more details are coming out. Now, the one thing I will mention is that like none of this information came out until 6 months into his term. That's just crazy. All these news organizations just decided to, we'll get to it later. We'll do some deep reporting on his second term, but whatever. Does it matter to Trump supporters? Bro, I think this is the dumbest question. People keep answering it. All I gotta tell you is it matters to some of them. They're not a hive mind. It's different. Some people this matters to, some people it doesn't. Everything is a choice like that. Street saying Wall Street Journal has another bullet. I mean, this alone is a bullet. What I think is interesting about this is like, they are not like saying some sources say we don't know. They're saying this happened. And when questioned about it, saying we believe in our sources and we are in the accuracy of our reporting, which means they're willing to like be sued on it and back it up. They know they're going to be sued and they know they can win the lawsuit. You know, that alone is a big deal. It's a deep pocketed news organization saying something controversial about the president and knowing they'll be sued about it and willing to make that fight. That's why it's a big deal. Why are they saying it now? I mean, they could have just found out about it. I'm saying they should have said it earlier, but this story specifically is that he is on the list and has known about it since May, and then he was told. They're saying that Pam Bondi got the Epstein files, looked at them, saw his name was in them, and told him in May. And then since then, all of his actions make sense. The idea that they've been downplaying, trying to move past the story, that just to clear it up, that is what we're talking about today. You're still talking about this? Who's even still talking about this Epstein stuff? You're still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? That creep? Time to move on. Trump in my chat. Democrats not jumping on this is the biggest fumble ever. I've come to a new theory about Democrats, which is that the best thing they can do is not jump on anything because they're so unpopular that they bring it down. Like, people are like, you know, Kamala Harris should speak up, or these people should speak up. And it's like, no, actually they shouldn't. They should say nothing. They should pretend they don't exist. When they speak up, it actually just, people reflexively counter them. They reflexively don't want to be on their side. Pokemon released the list. Pokemon released the list, huh? That's my honest theory, is that the best Democratic strategy is to shut the fuck up and say nothing, because everything you do backfires. Until you can figure out how to have coherent, strong, forceful messaging, just say nothing. And then the fuck ups of the administration are obvious to everyone. I literally think this person exists. I'm gonna describe you a person. A person who voted for Trump is kind of realizing they made a mistake, recognizes that he's probably on the Epstein list, but hates ex-Democrats so much that when they hear them call him out for it, they dig their heels in. This person exists. This person exists and like could be, it's like not an uncommon person. And I actually think this person is super winnable because Trump is doing a really bad job, bro, straight up. He's just not doing a good job on so many levels. Somebody gave me a really good point. I was talking to a Republican, and they said the Epstein thing is like a nice out. It's like a nice off-ramp. If you were a big diehard supporter of Trump, it's hard to be like, dude, the tariffs fucking suck actually, or like the economy's not really getting better. But like the Epstein thing is like, hey, he lied about this. You know what? I'm done. I'm changing my opinion. It's like a nice out. It's like a nice way to be like, well, that's a line for me because it's like acceptable. And so I think some people are taking it. The Epstein estate claims to have the birthday book and is willing to turn it over. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just so obvious that birthday letter is real because it's too weird to be fake. Details are too specific to be, you know what I'm saying? If you would make up something, it would be different. If Obama was cooking up something, you could do something better than that, actually. It's so obvious. Epstein front row at Donald Trump's wedding. That's not a great look. He was a +1. Your Honor, I didn't know Epstein was gonna be there. He was a +1. Someone else brought him. What are you gonna? I could turn away at the door. It'd be a bad look. You know what's weird? 2 other things I learned about this. I feel like I'm learning more about the whole Epstein thing that I ever possibly wanted, but Howard Lutnick, who is our United States Secretary of Commerce and one of my most hated men. I'm so glad he doesn't have Scott Bessent's job. Howard Lutnick wasn't just close with Jeffrey Epstein. He was his neighbor, bro. Like, not neighbor doesn't even put it close enough. Their buildings, their rooms touched. This is the Google Maps between Jeffrey Epstein's penthouse and Howard Lutnick's. What's weird is there was another New York press mogul, similar to Rupert Murdoch, which was Robert Maxwell, who is Ghislaine Maxwell's dad. And he owned like the NY Post and a couple other things. And he, right before he was about to be uncovered for massive financial fraud, basically stealing all the money from the pensions of his company to live lavishly, he died mysteriously on his yacht. I didn't know any of this, but her dad has it. Robert Maxwell. So it happens. I mean, he could have killed himself. That one, he actually could have killed himself because he was about to be exposed for massive financial crimes. But there's a lot of stuff that, is just like weird and everyone moved past. Very strange. It really feels like this year is the final season of US politics. Bro, I feel like this year is just beginning. I feel like this is like the beginning of the MCU, dude. We haven't even got to Endgame yet, bro. This is like, we're just kicking off something crazy. Aatrox is causing all these insane politics for more viewers. Yeah, I met up with Barack Obama and I wrote these lists myself because I thought it would make a great clip. I have to admit it. Trump interview from yesterday. What's this?
Mr. President, Ghislaine Maxwell has been arrested on allegations of child sex trafficking. Why would you wish such a person
first of all,
well?
I don't know that, but I do know that
She has. She's been arrested for that. You know
her
that.
friend or boyfriend
Epstein.
was either killed or committed suicide in jail. She's now in jail. Yeah, I wish her well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good luck.
You just got to wish him well. Trump's always been he's a man who just doesn't have enemies, Doesn't matter who it is. He wishes them well. He's willing to turn the other cheek. Even for someone who's under arrest for child sex trafficking, he's a forgiver. He doesn't hold grudges. Famously is not still obsessed with Rosie O'Donnell for New York drama in the 80s. Still, he just moves on.